Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back. Time for another Clumsy flying stream. How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining, Tom. Lestat, thanks for subbing, man. If you're enjoying the VA, I should assign you the manager role. That would help with you being able to get your own jobs. If you like that. It's a bit of additional complexity with managing the VA though. So we'll see how that works. Let me know which you prefer. Hey, Calvin. Hello. How are you, man? How's everybody doing? Oh my goodness. I have been pretty much into flight sims again the past weekend. I've been flying offline and trying out the triple monitors again. It's working great. Not so good for the other tools like little nav map, navigraph, but it's better for the visibility and the immersion. Doing good, Calvin, doing good. What have you been busy with these days? Just in time indeed, Teso. How are you? Yar, Jack! What are you doing up? Sorry to hear you're not feeling well. Hope you get better soon. 33 months, goodness, GG. Dead now, please no. I think the main reason is because you went away from the Fuso. You've made a bond already. When you go back to the Fuso, I think you will feel much better in an instant. Hey, Piper Hawk. Good evening, how are you doing? So for today, guys, we are back with the CJ4. I've been trying to see if I wanted to fly other planes, but no, just the CJ4 is hands down the best plane in FS 2020 right now, thanks to working title. So nothing else comes close in my opinion. I actually saw that flight deck to sim. If you guys are familiar with him, he's a very nice guy, very big content creator. That's a real 737 captain. He streamed the CJ4 recently, and he was pretty happy with it from what I've seen. I've watched snippets of it. So that looks to be pretty interesting. We can now actually get proper planes in the sim. Things are looking pretty well. Hopefully it keeps up. We'll see. CJ4 mod indeed. Drawing and ETS as always. Sounds good. You almost only fly the CJ4, I know, right? Just, yeah. If you want flight sim, the CJ4 is the closest you can get. Have a good night, Jack. Yes, get some rest, man. Thanks for popping by and then resubbing. Get well soon. I'll catch you next time. Good morning, Sonoma. Good evening. How are you, man? Indeed, indeed. So I'll be flying today, doing more on-air stuff. I'm rich. I'm rich not because of my own doing though. Little bit of an update. Share with you. Let's make that smaller. So if you look at the how does this work? It's descending, so more recent transactions at the top. So the chronological sequence is from bottom up. And if you look here in terms of income, I've been getting quite a lot of, well, not a lot, but spare change, thousands from the income from different jobs. And suddenly I get $1 million from Gruntworks. Just because. So I put most of those into the Clumsy VA. And now the Clumsy VA is even richer than before. Goodness, we have some hardcore guys playing in the VA now, flying 747s and just making us millions. So the VA is doing very well, so much so that we've had to limit the shareholders, the equity. So we're limiting currently the equity to those who are actively flying, just so we will not have silent investors. It's more of a co-op thing. Look at that. We have now 143 million in the VA. So we're pretty much good when it comes to flying anything that we want, except for airliners. Maybe we're still a bit limited there. But yeah, Sky Park. Yeah, Sky Park is great. It's just that we have a VA, and in terms of community, the VA is much more of a, how do you say, community experience, right? Multiplayer experience. So Sky Park is great, especially because I can fly anywhere, but I won't have anybody to share that with, my progress there. You know, here, if you make money, the rest of the community sees it. So in terms of that, having a VA on air is more perfect in that regard. But I think Sky Park definitely will come back when either one, there's a huge update, when they add more economy in there, or add, I don't know, we'll see, or a multiplayer or a VA feature, or when there's a new plane that we don't have in on air. Because Sky Park is very good when it comes to that freedom. You can take any plane, go anywhere, and you'll still find a job. On air is a bit more restrictive. You have to be on that exact airport where that plane is, where that job is. It's a bit more realistic. So Sky Park is a bit more free. So we'll go back there eventually, probably when the CERJ comes out from Aerosoft. We'll see, and we'll see where we get from there. But for now, on air, so that we can maximize that sense of community. We even have our own channels in our Discord server for the VA. And it's very nice to see the discussions there. People cooperating with taking different jobs and helping each other out. It's a nice feeling. Right, so for today, I found a nice job actually. There is such a thing apparently. It was CPY who taught us this. You can apparently cook jobs here in On Air. Cook jobs, wherein the income becomes a, how do you say, the income shoots up, the pay for the job becomes a multiplier of, I don't know, multiplied by 3 or something, or 4. But let me give an example. Which one is that for me? Let me see. That one is the job assigned to me. Yeah, that's the one we're doing. You can see the pay is 111,000. Originally, the pay for this was, I think, 20 to 40,000, somewhere between that range. But this kind of job doesn't pay very well oftentimes, only around the 20,000 range. But you can see it kind of like multiplied by 5. So now we're getting paid 111,000. And apparently there's a trick to it in on-air economy. Doesn't make much sense, but what you do is apparently you wait. So here you see an expiration time. You can see it's black. Excuse me. So it's actually late already. But what you do is you wait for the job to be 15 minutes away from expiring. So just before it expires, you take the job. Because apparently the closer you get to the expiration date, the higher the pay becomes. So when it's like 15 minutes before it's expiring, the pay really shoots up. So if you have that opportunity, you can wait for it a bit. Like for example, if you find a job that's close to expiring, wait for it. It will go even higher. So I chanced upon that. This became 111K, and then I took it. And then even if it's expired, it will be in the system for, I don't know, 10 or 15 days. I can't remember. And when you deliver this, it will be late, yes. But in on air, the penalty for being late is here on this tab. And you can see the penalty is only 3,000. It's a flat fee. Doesn't increase, doesn't scale if you're too late, if you're so late, or 1 second late, or 1 day late. It's a flat fee. So it's 111K minus 3K. That's the income compared to the original 20K. So yeah, cooking jobs has made things a lot more lucrative. Doesn't make much sense. I actually honestly hope On Air revises that. But right now, that's how the design is. So we have to work with the system. or work around the system, however you want to look at it. Yeah, exactly, Piperhawk. If I were flying alone, Skypark would definitely be my go-to software app. It's just with the VA around, yeah, OnAir is much more community-driven. Oh yeah, glad to see about that PC, Tom. But yeah, that paperwork is pretty weird. Why would they put that there? You have to open it up and remove the paperwork from inside. That's weird. Normally, I would expect when they deliver something, it's like plug and play, literally. 10 screws. Yeah. Hopefully, you get it working soon. Hey, Patrick. How are you, man? Glad you could join. What have you been playing recently? So that's the job that we're taking today. Let's go and do that. That is actually somewhere in Seattle, I believe. Near Seattle. Bremerton National. If you look at the map here, I have the flight plan ready. And we'll try to take our time today. We'll probably get a lot of, a few moments later, incidents. Audible alerts, because I plan to take my time, no VATSIM, no nothing, just enjoying the plane, seeing the different features, going through the checklist, you know, just playing around with it, just like a toy. Millions of dollars toy. But this is where we'll be starting with, and you can see we're actually going to be flying over SeaTac here, SeaTac Airport. So we'll be flying over Seattle. So that's the region we are at currently. We'll make our way southeast. Let me zoom out so we can see the state lines. So we'll be crossing a bit over Oregon, maybe, Idaho, and then Wyoming. Just sounds like ATS, right? When Wyoming is here. So eventually, I think that is somewhere in Wyoming, this place that we're going to. Looks like it's pretty scenic as well. Lots of mountains in the vicinity. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. CVS store. Hope she feels better soon, Tom. Trucking, flight, and Tomb Raider. Nice. Sounds good. Right, let's load it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, hope it all goes well. 2240 cargo. Normally we take passengers in this plane because the cargo just doesn't pay too much. But yeah, because we managed to cook this, then that's okay. It's a 642 mile journey. Around 600, 700. It'll take around 1 hour 40 minutes based on Little Nav Map. Let's say 2 hours. So let's get as much fuel as we can get. That's overloaded now. 75%, let's put it. 75% fuel. That should be more than enough. Okay. So 2240, remember that for me, guys, okay? 2240. Or basically put 320 on all the different legs for the weight and balance. Alright, let's try that. Oh, I have to check though, what time is it currently? In Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango, Bremerton National. It currently is, what time is it there? 4:16 p.m. And I don't have an offset. Might be a bit too dark. We'll try, we'll see. Set a ramp there. Choose a ramp. We picked 75%. And the load has to be, what was it again? 320 for all, I think. 320. Something like that. Yeah, that looks good. That looks correct. Payload is 2430. I think we are a bit over the max zero fuel weight. Hopefully not, but I think we are. We'll see. Okay, looks good. Let's load it up. Also, you might notice something fancy in the top left of the screen. Something from Sim Toolkit Pro, just so we get additional info for you guys. It might be too small though, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me know if it's too small, I'll adjust it for next time. Yeah, you're lucky that you were asymptomatic even if you did. 3 hours behind. Oh, nice. You know your time zones. Yeah, you got it right, 4 p.m.-ish. The weather is not the best though. Case in point, there you go. It says... Well, temperature is not too bad. It's 12 degrees. It's not really snowing, but it's raining hard. Light rain, moderate mist, and overcast, 400 feet. I'm not even sure. Oh my goodness, yeah, the weather is not very good. Not even sure if this kind of weather allows you to fly in real life. But we'll try. Okay, we'll try. Oh, that's pretty strong rains. Little nav map is here. Let's make sure that OnAir is also plugged in. Let's see. So we're going to Kilo Foxtrot Bravo Romeo, Fort Bridger. First time I heard that kind of like typhoon outside. Well, in real life, I've heard that a lot. It's been raining pretty hard here in Singapore recently. It's been pretty cold as well. So let's see, start tracking. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. I'll have to abort it. Yes. We'll have to change the time. The adjustment. Let's say -3. So it's maybe around 1 p.m. Yeah, that offset I'm not so much a fan of. I wish they would just allowed you to change the time in the sim instead of doing that offset, which is a bit awkward. Hey, super! Glad you managed to join, man. Oh, this is real weather. This is also how it looks like right there. That's perfect. Pretty accurate, huh? How have you been, man? How have you been flying? Start tracking that. There we go. That's better lighting. New staff, so amazing. Picked up your PC, helped carry it to the van. Oh, nice guy. Good to hear. What's interesting is it's louder inside the plane than outside. Here it's like pretty chill. Inside, oh my goodness, a typhoon. Yes, doing good, man. Doing good. I am excited to fly again. I've been flying offline last weekend, trying out the triple monitors, and I've been enjoying the experience, even though the triple monitor in FS 2020 is still a bit frustrating. The wide angles at the sides, not the best, but it will do for now. Do you want some music? Let me know if you're okay with that or if you prefer it off. I'm just double checking that the overlay on the upper left is working properly. Let me know if that messes up, okay? Alright, let's go and do this as close to reality as possible, if we can, by going through the checklists and everything and try to maximize the features of this plane, because yeah, it is pretty close to study level with all the things that working title has been doing. Dispatch mode. Pause init. Copy that over. Let's get a little bit of panel lighting. Flight plan. From Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango. I've also come to enjoy plugging in my own flight plan instead of relying on the main menu of Flight Sim. It's way longer, but gives you more control, and it's like, you know how it is when you're like taking notes? It seems to embed in your brain better the act of writing. Even if you're not really like listening, that's just writing it. That effort of writing gives you more retention. So for me, it seems a bit more similar here. I'm more aware of what my flight plan is if I also have to program it into the FMS. Like the waypoints sound more familiar. They make more sense in a way. So in a way, that's good exercise, I think. Right, runway 20. That's what we'll be using for departure. Let's go to plan mode here. Turn off the weather mode. So you can see the plan unfolding in front of us. So it will be... first waypoint will be the Seattle VOR. Sierra Echo Alpha. There's only one. Next will be joining the Juliet 20. Let me see. How do you plug this in? Yeah, exactly. So Juliet 20 airway. All the way to Pocatello. Is anyone familiar with that? Papa India Hotel. And it's interesting, that's one of the features of this mod. In the default FS 2020, that actually doesn't work. Let me execute that and show you. Even though we've only put in one waypoint here, that is actually composed of multiple waypoints. In the Juliet 20 airway, this is like the highways in the air. So execute that. If you go to the legs page, that's actually a lot. And look at, even though we only plugged in one, we said Pocatello at Papa India Hotel. If you see the legs, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 waypoints that means. And if we go and look at the different waypoints here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what we plugged in, so it saves a lot of time using these airways. It's that blinking thing. Let's remove that first.
Oral warning, okay.
Yeah. So that looks good. Let's go back to the flight plan. So yeah, airway support, something that the mod made possible. Next, we're going direct RAM with 3 M's. Sure like their M's. Next is to Firos. And then Zuvun. And from there, we do the approach to the airport. It's the RNAV 22 approach, I believe. So let's see. Arrival RNAV 22. Transition would be Fort Bridger, this VOR right here. Execute, and let's review that again. So we reviewed until there. RAM, Firos, Suwon. There's a discontinuity, so you see it ends and then it begins later here on the start of the approach. Here we'll have to program something. I'll show you later the chart for that approach. Going to be interesting. Yeah, that looks good. There's a discontinuity which is by design, you can see here, because Fort Bridger is start of the approach, and oftentimes ATC wouldn't, like, it's possible that ATC wouldn't clear you. So you cannot proceed to Fort Bridger without ATC clearing you for the approach. So that's why there's a discontinuity, so that you won't assume that you're cleared automatically. But if they clear you, then you can just go direct from there, remove the discontinuity. But this is just, yeah, so it's more realistic, more in line with what could happen. Perf init. Yeah, this is where the inaccuracy would start, I think. Because the zero fuel weight is 12,710. I don't think the plane will even allow us to input that. 12,710. Yeah. What happened with my cursor? Oh, there you go. Bugged out. 12,710 will not be allowed. I think the largest we can go is 12,600. Yeah. Flight level 430 today. Going even higher than how high airliners go. Pretty fancy. That looks good. So from there, we can actually, instead of doing the usual startup, I'd like to do the proper checklists. So if we go, I think it was upper menu, there you go, we have the checklist in there. There. Normal checklist menu. Before starting engines, battery is on. Emergency light switch is armed, that's the one here. Standby flight display switch, so it's all on this panel. On. Avionics is in dispatch, parking brake is set, wheel chocks are removed, cabin door is closed. Passenger briefing. We haven't done that yet. Hey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel, and feel free to join the chat. Yeah, I think we're good. Passenger briefing. Let's do that. So this is all part of the mod as well, and this all comes with their own audio. Like if we say passenger briefing, what should start? I don't know actually. I'm not sure what should start here. Let's go with that.
May I have your attention, please? At this time, please comply with the illuminated seatbelt and no smoking signs. Thank you.
Maybe that's good enough. Passenger briefing. Seat belt pedal, exterior lights as required. Let's turn on the beacons. Oh, that also turned on the safety button here. When you enable it here in the MFD, that also activates. Fancy. Okay, it's nice. Right, exterior lights, ECAS checked, FMS we've programmed. Climate control selector is here, is still in the off position. Good. Starting engines. Okay, we're ready to start the engines. Throttles are in idle. Engine starter button, push and then run. Yeah, that's pretty much what we do normally. Just making sure that we're not missing anything. Beacons are on so that OnAir doesn't penalize us. Starting engine 2. Start and run. And then check for ITT rise over here. Ignition is on. Hear the engine purring. There's ITT rising. Okay. Would assume shouldn't go beyond the red line. If this is realistic, it should go up and then stabilize. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. Very nice. So ITT looks good. ECAS, we don't have any other warnings, I believe. Well, we could check here. 1 second, where is that? Because it's supposedly here, I think. FMS text. Not sure. That's okay. Let's keep it there. Okay, good. Engine 1, actually engine 2 looks good. So let's do the same for the other engine. Couple of other people in here as well. Nice to see. Multiplayer goodness. Also, the weather looks to be better. The rain has let up a bit, I think. Still quite foggy, but not as hard raining anymore. That's good. Right. Let's keep that going. It's actually, I think, my first time going through the entire checklist. Nice to see how complete it is. External power, we didn't have that in the first place, so that should be good. Electrical systems, where would we check that? I guess the different instrumentations. Okay, there we go. 2 engines are good. Avionics can go on, and then climate control switch to norm here. That would start the air conditioning. Passenger light safety button. Oh, that's the one I shouldn't have opened it yet. That's fine. Trims, check and set. So the trims are here. Aileron, elevator. Mainly, we have to make sure that the elevator is in the takeoff trim, the green zone. So we trim up until it goes there. There it is. That should be good enough. Flight controls are... where's the yoke? There we go. Free and correct. Speed brakes. That is deploying. Spoilers. And yes, that is rising in there. Nice. Flaps. The flap should also be working. That's for takeoff. That's for landing. Let's set it for takeoff, like so. You can even see the exhaust coming out from here, the engines. Very nice. Attention to detail there. I love this online checklist. It feels so immersive, having that inside the actual plane. Hydraulic pressure, I believe we need some systems in here. Hydraulic pressure is 3000. Engine only anti-ice, we don't need that, it's 12 degrees outside. Also, I realized about the anti-ice. Normally when I enable anti-ice, I do it like that. But I've been watching Flight Tech to Sim, and what he noticed was, actually this is saying wing and engine anti-ice. This one is engine only anti-ice. So you don't have to have all enabled, you only pick. Do you need only the engine anti-ice, or do you need the engine and wing anti-ice? So you choose this one for both. You choose this one for engine only. Kinda makes sense. But you don't need all 4. Yeah, the buttons are a bit weird though, the way it works. Also, tail de-ice doesn't seem to work right now yet. Right, takeoff data, that is not set yet. That's what we're setting now. Let's get the altimeter here, 2970, quite low pressure, makes sense with the weather. Winds are 192 at 7 knots. Outside it's 12 degrees. Looking good. 6 knot headwind. Yeah. These speeds are calculated. We don't need anti-ice. So we will be consuming 2,500 out of 5,900 feet of this runway. So we'll be consuming less than half of it before we rotate. Right. Send that in. These speeds are set and aligned with the PFD. That looks good. So takeoff data is confirmed and set as well. Avionics are, well, not yet okay. I'm not sure if there's a separate item for that, but we need to turn on the flight director. Speaking of flight director, you might notice it looks a bit different from the usual one. this is a new update with 0.9. You can now actually change this depending on your preference. Go to config. Oh, what is that? It's doubling there. Let's close that. 1 second, give me a bit of time. So here, flight director, you can change that to the default, which is the V bar, they call it. This is more common for like the G1000 stuff. Inside the egg, the yolk. That deserves a badumts. So a V bar or cross pointer. I was previously liking this V bar, but functionally I think the cross pointer works better. It's easier to see if you're following the flight director or not because of that point there, versus having the V bar, which is a bit, for me personally, it's open to interpretation. So I've come to enjoy the cross pointer mode more. So let's stick with that. Right, let's go back and go with the checklist again. Before taxi, 3 pages here. Avionics look good. Let's set the altitude to 43,000 feet. Just go straight up there. This would be great. The benefit with having bad weather on the airport is that feeling when you go past the clouds and you go on top of the clouds for the first time as you punch through. Oh, that's an amazing feeling. That's the benefit of having bad weather on the airport itself. Okay, let's go there. Avionics, autopilot, engage in disconnect. Ah, interesting. Okay, so to make sure that it's working. So if I pitch up, I know this is something that Premier One driver Greg does as part of his checklists. He makes sure that this one works, this wheel, pitching up or pitching down. Going heading mode, you can see the flight director moving. Nice. Okay, looks good. Turn off autopilot again. And yaw damper as well. Altimeter is set and checked. Pressurization is, where is that? I guess in the systems. Is that this one, the oxygen level? No, it's different. I'm not sure if where you do that. Well, I guess we'll know. One thing I'm not so sure of is this one, the source norm. I've seen that they put this on norm, but I'm not sure if that has an actual effect, and I haven't seen it here in the checklist, so maybe you don't really need to do that. Also seems like the weather has gone bad again. Oh my goodness, live weather indeed. Exterior lights, let's put on nav lights here. Brakes, apply and hold. Parking brake, release. Okay, check. Nose wheel steering, check. Flight instruments, check. Oh, lots of things to check. Let's just skip through those. Set for takeoff, open briefing. Oh, this is for before takeoff. Okay, let's set that up for later. It would be nice. Okay, so let's taxi to the runway. Runway 20, we should be taking taxiway Alpha. So we basically go straight here, turn left there, that junction. Looks like there's some landing as well. Oh, nice. Is he landing? No, not really. Let them unscrew it, take the papers out. Yeah, you can take it back where you bought it if that's possible for you. That's better. Good. Right, parking brakes are released. Let's go and get track IR in. Seatbelts on.
May I have your attention, please?
Taxi and logo lights are on. Very nice view. Just ignore that guy on the left. Also change the heading to 195. That's the runway heading for runway 20. Three-hour drive to where it came from. Maybe you can call them and ask them how to remove that. Because it's better whoever provided it to remove them. Just to be on the safe side. No one else here in this airport? My goodness, the weather is so bad, huh? Start with the music for now. Sounds like a great place. Yeah, they should be able to support you. Have you tried calling them? Asking them how to remove that? See if they'll offer to remove it for you or they'll guide you properly. Might be a good next step. There's a plane in front of us. Does seem awfully close. Too bad we don't get a view of the sights here. I was hoping to do some sightseeing in Seattle. I don't think we're up for any sightseeing with this kind of weather, huh? AK2? Dispatcher for OnAir? I'm not so sure. You can check the Discord. I can help you out later. Maybe give me 15-20 minutes if no one goes online. It's bad today. No worries, man. It's a different experience for sure. Alright, let's follow the checklist here. Take our time. No one's rushing us. Stop here. Alright, let's see. TCAS set to TARA. Indeed, that one. So put that there. Radar as required. I guess no, we don't need that. Go around button. We'll do that later. Battery amps verify 20 or less. I don't think that's properly simulated. It is definitely less, always negative. Not sure if that's a good sign, probably not. Ice protection systems, no need because we're above 10 degrees. Pitot static buttons, exterior lights, ECAS. Yeah, I think we're good from here. Okay, let's get rid of that. Nice. So, pitot and static heat, TARA. Awesome. Let's line up on the runway. Ah! Hey, perfect. Nice. Yes, so check in the Discord if someone replies. If no one replies, I'll be with you in around 15 minutes after we take off and stabilize this aircraft. Runway looks clearish. There's someone there though. Nah, that's okay. Still far away. A couple of miles out. Runway is pretty clear here. Runway 20, I see it in front. It's nice. Landing lights, strobes as well. Don't forget that. That's the number one thing we need to remember because OnAir will penalize us if we don't. There you go. Oh, I love the lighting here. Even if it's very bad weather. So we press this thing here. This is the takeoff button temporarily. You can see it goes to TO. Pitches up 10 degrees, locks the heading bug. Looks good. Everything looks set. Go to take off detent. And off we go. Oh my goodness, this is scary. Let's try and keep center line here. Very fidgety. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Yaw damper on. Flaps up. We can try and hand fly this thing a bit. Heading mode on. Flight level change, go to climb detent. There you go. That should be more than enough. Good. And let's start turning towards the flight path. You can also notice, as part of the 0.9 update, the flight director is actually moving even with autopilot off. That is amazing, so I can hand fly this properly. I'm just looking at the instruments now, I'm not even looking outside because it will disorient me. So I'm just looking at my instruments completely, hoping that they'll do a good job. It looks like so far we are doing a good job. Continuing our climb, keeping the right speed. On our way to the magenta line. Looking pretty good. Switch to nav mode here. Trimming, trimming, trimming. Alright. I think from there we can turn on autopilot. There we go. Autopilot is on. .240 knots. Indicated airspeed that's selected. Good. Hey KM, how are you, man? Just started actually. How have you been? Thanks for dropping by. What have you been busy with these days? How's the temperature outside? Bit of icing might happen soon. Oh, it's 8 degrees. It's okay. Pretty bad weather still though, so nothing to see outside. Also, we've hit 10,000 feet. So pretty soon I should actually 10,500 feet. I should turn off my landing lights. Landing lights. Axle lights. Logo lights. Seat belts can go off as well. Nice. Looking pretty good. Icing starting to come up. Let's go and get the wing and engine anti-ice on. Looking good so far. Awesome. Not good for the sightseeing, but I think that was a fairly smooth takeoff. Music can resume. Kinda-ish. Worst visibility. Goodness. Hey Mario. How are you? Vaccination has started. So Mario is asking, for those who are sticking mainly to English, Mario is asking if we are already vaccinated here. So in Singapore, vaccination has begun. Beautiful. Clouds. This is my favorite part. Vaccination has begun, but it's starting off first with the frontliners, with the elderly people. I think the plan is to have everyone vaccinated here by Q3 of 2021. So we'll see. But the process has started. I love this feeling. There you go. Exactly. So good. In the soup again. And yeah, the autopilot is working absolutely fine as well. Moving to the next waypoint. Unfortunately, yeah, it's actually, we're right above. So you can see a couple of planes below. That's actually SeaTac. We're right above the airport and absolutely zero visibility, but this is what I was telling you guys. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Oh my goodness. Right? The icing isn't the best though. Yeah. This is the view. 18,000 feet. Switching to standard altimeter. 29902. Also on the standby here. There you go. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at that. This will never get old. It will never get old. My goodness. I think we could turn off the anti-ice or outside precipitation now. Wow. Sky Stormplay Transport Fever 2. Oh, nice. I have been thinking about Transport Fever recently. Sorry for the loud volume, guys. Just taking a photo. I have not been keeping up to date with Transport Fever though. So I'm not sure if there are updates, mods, and whatnot. I have been thinking of getting back to it though. I kind of miss modeling all those trains and routes. Just the heading here. 118 degrees. And let's increase our panel lighting. Looking good. Let's go through the checklist as well. Let's make sure we're not missing anything. So that looks good there. Landing gear up, flap 0, yaw damper is on. Autopilot, ice protection, passenger lights, landing lights, cruise, throttles as required, pressurization check. The pressurization, that's something I'm not sure how to check. There should be like a cabin altitude and a pressure, cabin pressure, and then cabin altitude. In other planes, in here, I'm not sure how to show that. Let's try and see if we can find it. Let's see. Can we find that in the systems? DC, electricity, hydraulic pressure, fuel flow, oxygen pressure, I don't see cabin altitude anywhere. Maybe it's not yet programmed in. Not terribly sure. Ooh, weather. Oh, there's a shortcut to the checklist here. Just press checklist. Oh, that's easier. Nice. Oh. Apparently we're in the second layer of clouds now. No icing here though. Interestingly enough. Pressurization isn't modeled yet. Ah, thanks Trotter. Thanks for clarifying. How are you doing? Welcome back. Stern of Track IR here. Actually, turn it off. There you go. If you paid for this plane. No, it's all free. That's the amazing thing about it. All of this work for free, and they're not even accepting donations. Tom is covering for Alex and Jack, I think. All the dad jokes. I think that deserves. I think I can do something like that on my own. There you go. Alright. Let's have a look at the legs page here. See how things are doing. Oh, one thing I haven't tested yet is the COM1 and COM2. Those can now work in parallel. Perfect for VATSIM. Let's see. Yakima. Ooh, we're going to pass through a Yakima VOR 116.0. If we put that in here, PFD menu, so we should see how far it is. Bearing source, VOR1, there it is, Yakima 56 miles away. Headed there right now. You can actually see it in the waypoint right there. How does the thing about having a company work? You mean here in the VA, the virtual airline? So it's basically, so this is one sample. I don't want to leave this page though, it might mess up. But there's a separate application for it. It's actually a paid application, an entire economy system. So by default, Flight Sim doesn't have an economy system. So there are third-party applications that create that economy, and then you group together. This OnAir application that I'm using, you can create your own company in there called a virtual airline, and then you can include other people in, and you can fly together, get your own planes, and you're all building towards the same the same company. So you're building the funds for the company, getting bigger planes, getting longer flights as you progress, stuff like that. Yeah, ATS meets Flight Sim exactly. So it can be very business oriented as well, which is something people may or may not like. So there are other alternatives for the economy system. Like one is Skypark, which is a very straightforward app, less business, just more like ATS. Find a job and take it and level up. Yeah, that's correct, KM. Flight sims are literally that, mainly. Flying wherever with no economy. That's why some people refer to it, it's not a game, it's a simulator. For us, or me personally, I like mixing it a bit, making it a game/simulator. So adding some gamification, adding some game elements in there. Lovely. Mach 0.64. We're climbing quite fast. Even at flight level 357, we're still climbing around 2,000 feet per minute. Nice. This plane is powerful. Goodness. Not as powerful as the Longitude, but amazing stuff. Yeah, I agree, KM. Hey, Ernab. How are you, man? Welcome back. How have you been? I definitely agree, KM. Being able to have all these systems is cool, but it doesn't keep me engaged so much unless I have like a goal. Yeah, and having an economy system is a great way to do that. Gamifying it helps me be more interested in learning, because if I learn about something just for the sake of learning it, it's not so exciting for me. You know, I want to learn it because I want to earn more, or I want to learn it because I want to buy the plane, save for it and buy it, you know, things like that. And having an economy system is really useful for that. Definitely agree. This is also why, like in Transport Fever 2, I'm not so fond of sandbox mode, or for example having like no money involved and just building whatever you like. That's great for the creative folks. But for me personally, I like having the money system in there as well, the economy system, because I like that challenge and that goal of managing your money, making it efficient, making it effective, and then building up from there. That's the appeal of Transport Fever for me, not so much the creating the super realistic, comprehensive train stations. And I know that appeals to some people, but I'm not that creative. So I like the business side of things a lot better. Yeah, exactly. Like driving in a truck sim with no goal, it's a bit sad. Like in truck sim, I don't normally drive without a job. Doesn't appeal to me so much. Like even picking just a random job going to some place feels much better than going to that same place without any job. I don't know why. Gives me a purpose maybe. I'm fooling myself maybe, but if I think about it in ATS, in my profile right now, I have millions already, so I don't really need to do a job. The money I get from that is irrelevant, but still, it doesn't feel good to just go someplace without a job. Even if you have a trailer, it doesn't feel the same as when you have a job that you take there and like a purpose. Yeah. The meaning of life. We're going philosophical here, but I like it. Coffee. Morning coffee is done, finally. I woke up a bit late today. Normally I would have finished my coffee before the stream starts. Good. That's nice. This is the perfect like look of clouds, that like layer. Thin layer. I'm not sure how we call it. Not very familiar with cloud names. And this is actually very nice because you have multiple layers here. You have that thin one at the top, and you have those fluffy ones at the bottom. The fluffy ones at the bottom look very scary. Like cumulonimbus kind of stuff, I guess. If you call these cirrus clouds, I'm not so sure. Yeah, the weather system, the weather... What do you say? Weather stuff? Is that a technical term? That's the thing I am keen on learning. Although it's hard with these simulators, they don't model the weather quite well yet. Like the impact on flying through clouds is not very well simulated in this simulator specifically. I think X-Plane does a better job at simulating that, like going through a thunderstorm where you really feel it. Here in FS 2020, just like you get no visibility, but you don't get like rocked all over the place. It's not very well simulated yet. The problem with X-Plane is the look of the clouds. I don't think is very accurate either. It's just very hard to distinguish what type of cloud it is because they all look very similar. So I don't think there's like a perfect sim for it yet. But we'll see. Hopefully, eventually, FS 2020 will improve its weather simulation so it doesn't only look the part, it also feels the part. We'll see how that works. We are flying to somewhere in Wyoming. Speaking
Altitude.
of that, can you guys see the thing on the upper left? Where is... Am I pointing at the right thing? Yeah, I think so. Upper left of the screen. Can you read that, or is that too small? Oh yeah, so it says there, it should be saying there Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango to Kilo Foxtrot Bravo Romeo. That is somewhere in Wyoming, I believe. It's Fort Bridger Airport. There we go, finally. How many minutes is that? Sometimes you get rocked for no reason. Yes, that's very true. I don't get it. I think it's more of a weather inconsistency than actual weather implementation. It's not like proper turbulence. It's just like random, unrealistic stuff. So lots of improvements there still. 114.7 should be Pendleton, 68 miles away. Just for additional reference. Stay Scotsman. The text is too small. On the upper left you can't see it. Okay, I'll increase the size next time. Thanks. Actually, maybe we can increase it now, huh? 1 second. Let me see if I can fiddle with that. Oh, that's actually nice. You can see the progress of the flight. If you look at the bar, you have like a blue section of the... Ah, interesting. Yeah, you have a blue section of it and a gray section. So that's the progress actually. Let me see if I can change that. So if I change this to, let's say 1.3. Let's experiment with this, guys, okay? And then change this to, I don't know, 200. I can make it bigger like that. That looks good, right? Is that too big now? Let me know if that works for you better. Should be more visible at the very least. I think that looks okay. Cruise. What am I reading for books lately? Oh, nice to... You may be trucking, Scotsman. Enjoy going to Amsterdam. Funny you asked that, KM. I only recently started reading again. I have been so behind on the fantasy novels that I've grown to enjoy. I started reading non-fiction books like last year, 2 years ago. Self-improvement stuff and like that, but recently I've stopped that again and I've gone back to fantasy books. So I finished the latest book from my my favorite author, Brandon Sanderson. Trying to remember the name of the book. It's not Oathbringer, but it's in the the Words of Radiance series or something like that. Kaladin series. Not sure if you read that. Okay. Slow down. Go to cruise range here on the throttle, so we don't overspeed. Hey Waldo, it's part of Sim Toolkit Pro. Let me show you. So this is Sim Toolkit Pro. It has a streaming tool here where you have like a browser URL and then you add the browser source, so you get that info, and you can turn on and off the different parameters depending on how you like it. You can even change the layout, but that's too much for me. Custom CSS and stuff. Just keep it basic. And then you also have, so I plugged in my flight plan here, the one that we're going through, so that it has visibility in what I'm doing. Stuff like that. Let's have a look at the live map here. Hey, look at that. So I even have visibility on like the VATSIM online areas, and even if I wanted to go online on VATSIM, currently the flight plan we're doing, there is no coverage. So that's our flight plan. And the covered areas are these areas. Yeah, so not quite VATSIM friendly in this current flight. But yeah, I highly recommend this tool, especially if you don't have Navigraph, because it can have like free charts for you, I think. Let me see if I can do that. It's a flight schedule, I think. No. 1 second, current flight, this one, yeah, current flight. So you see the origin and destination. You can have like Scratchpad here. You can sync it with SimBrief if you're using SimBrief. You can have departure and arrival charts. For example, arrival, let's have a look at the approach runway 22 RNAV. So you have a basic chart here. It's not as detailed from Navigraph, but it's coming from, you can see aeronav.faa.gov. So if you don't have a subscription to Navigraph, this is a great alternative. But personally, I still use Navigraph, so it's very realistic. But yeah, it's like an all-in-one tool. Although granted, I'm mainly using it for the overlay personally, but a lot of people really enjoy it. Not using pilot to ATC. I'm lazy. I can, but it's not a priority at the moment. I'd want to fiddle around with the plane more than work with ATC and work with the procedures and test out the autopilot of the plane. Because I am interested in doing this particular approach. Let me show you this approach that I want to do. So this is Navigraph. That's us right now. If we look at runway 22, RNAV, that's the RNAV 22 approach. So will be our initial approach fix will be Fort Bridger. So we'll be flying over the airport, and then we'll be, I think this is that one, tracking 043 to Singi. That's the point here, 12,000 feet. And then from here, we'll do a procedure turn. This is the part I'm interested in, because the plane can now do procedure turns like this, entering holding patterns. We'll have to program it manually. We'll do that later. But yeah, it's pretty detailed, pretty comprehensive. And then it's a 7 nautical mile leg of this holding pattern. Let's try that later. But yeah, if I use Pilot to ATC, oftentimes it wouldn't allow me to do that. It will instruct me to give me vectors. It will, yeah, it's not conducive to procedure turns. It's free. It's free. Sim Toolkit is free. Navigraphic is paid. So the one with the all-in-one tool, Sim Toolkit Pro, that's free. Yeah, same here, KM. I like the... Right now I'm in the mood for fiction. Fantasy books in particular. I'm reading right now the final trilogy of the Farseer series. Fits in the Fool. I'm really liking it. It's an easy read. Although it can be a bit dragging sometimes, but it's nice overall. How about you, KM? What have you been flying? Do they have old planes, 1950 planes? Some people have made mods like that. By default, they don't, I think. But that's the thing with flight sims. Oftentimes, it's very... The flight simulator is a platform, and they really expect people to make custom planes for it. So the industry in flight sim and truck sim is a bit different. So in flight sim, it's more the expectation that people make their own planes, payware or freeware stuff. But the main goal for the developers is to provide a platform, and it's up to the other people to make the planes for it. And I think some people made plastic planes already. There's even someone I saw who made like the first plane ever, I think. So it's like plywood. At least it looks like that. A couple of plywoods built on top of each other. It looks so archaic. Covered areas for the charts, you mean? I'm not sure for Sim Toolkit Pro, but in Navigraph, the paid subscription, that covers the entire world. So it has charts for all the airports. All the airports that have them, at least. Okay, moving to the next waypoint, 116.2. Donnelly Macal? Is that familiar to you guys? 1620. There you go. Delta November Juliet. 100 miles away. Molds work great. You did a nice pattern around Chicago downtown. Nice. Alright, I think in here, take a job and use VA CJ4. That will not earn income for the VA. Let me try and see if I can help you with that. I think I can manage the VA here. Open a separate window. Hopefully that works and doesn't destroy the flight. Which job is it again? Let me have a look at the... Okay, I see your request. KSLN to KJVL. Oh, there's Gunny. I think Gunny is online. Oh, there he is. He'll help you out. You can reply to him in Discord. Is it still tracking us? Okay, good. Good. Alright, let's have a look. ETA 53 minutes till we arrive at the airport. Wow. Let's hope that the weather is better in Wyoming. Thanks, Gunny. Alright, let's play with this a bit since we have time to spare. Lots of different things we can fiddle around with. Arrival data. That's the airport. RNAV 22, 7,000 feet. Runway threshold altitude. Oh, pretty high. Is that correct though? Let me double check. It is, yes. The airport is 7,000 feet above mean sea level. Wow. Interesting. This must be a nice site then. Hopefully the weather is good when we get there. Might be nice for some sightseeing afterwards. Maybe we can take the Cessna for a spin. Who was it? I think it was Bunky. Bunky is one of our patrons. He oftentimes goes to areas, so he takes his longitude, goes to an area randomly depending on what on-air job gives him, and then when he gets there, he researches the place, like I don't know, maybe TripAdvisor, but just researching about the place in reality, and then taking a smaller plane and flying around, just sightseeing. I think that's a very nice way of doing things, so you get to appreciate it more. Because with these jets, it's a bit too fast-paced, you know, going from and to, and you don't have time anymore to appreciate so much the vicinity. But when we land somewhere and then we take a slow plane, go slow and go low, that will give us more ample opportunity to explore the area, I think. So might be good. Hey Jesse, sorry for the late reply. How are you? Nice new keyboard. What model is that? I like the RGB on it. Very fancy. See you in the clouds. Perfect. Reading a book called Glasswright Apprentice. David Eddings series. The author rings a bell. Can you remind me the name of the series or what it's about? I think I've read it. I think I've read his series. I probably don't remember it anymore though. Like the details on the story. But if you give me like the name, might ring a bell. Ah, Bulgaria. Ah, yes, I remember now. You recommended it to me. No, I didn't get to finish it. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. When I was looking for fantasy books to read, that actually slipped my mind. Maybe I should start with that. One second, huh? Why are we not going to flight level 430? Yeah, this is like one of the random weather things. Just jolting you up. Like you're above 100 feet now or something like that. Even if you're on standard altimeter. Suddenly changes. Let me slow down a bit here. Make sure we don't overspeed. How many books does the Bulgarian have again? I think I was somewhere in the middle when I stopped. Goodness, I think I'll have to read that all over now. Yeah, it might be a good one after I finish the Fits in the Fool. But it's nice being able to read again after so long. It's been a nice welcome change going back to it. Exercises my vocabulary as well. Gives me new words to play with. Go to 90% N1 here. Just working with the range. So this one. That should work. Not too close to the red tape because flight sim can jolt you sometimes. And with on-air being so sensitive, the moment you hit that red tape, even just for a microsecond, it will be tagged as overspeed. and you'll get a penalty for it. Corsica. Is that the island in France, or the French island? Or I should say the island under France. The French island, there you go. It's very nice. I remember there are some windy, like, what do you call it? A mountain pass or coastal route, I guess, is more proper. Like, look at how we're just being thrown about here. A while ago, we were 200 feet above. And now we're like 300 feet below. Yeah, there's something weird with the weather. The pressure just changes depending on where you're at. I noticed that more in the longer flights. It's a bit weird. I think it's a Flight Sim 2020 bug. Because on standard altimeter, I don't expect that to change. Should it? Maybe it will, but not abruptly. Maybe that's the problem. Anyone who's more familiar with these kinds of things, feel free to comment if you're watching this over in YouTube. But that might be normal, huh? Maybe it's just the drasticness, the suddenness of it, that's the problem. Looks so good. Let's get a nice angle here. Wing view. Why not? 5 in the first, 5 in the second, in the 2 prequel. Ah, I see. Yeah. I kind of like reading that way, based on how the author meant it to be. I don't like sticking with the chronological sequence, because for me it really depends on the storytelling of the author, the way they intended it to be, to get the most impact of it. Plane looks wobbly. Okay. It's also pretty icy. I hope the icing effects also get polished, because I think with anti-ice, if you have anti-ice on, it should at the very least remove the icing from the edges of the wing here. That one. And the tail as well. Also with the engine. So with the surfaces here. But it doesn't seem like it works. So it doesn't look visually. It seems to work, the anti-ice seems to work functionally. So your plane doesn't flop down because of the icing. So that's good. But I think visually it's still not that good. Their ice remains. Reading prequels first in this case would have major spoilers. Yes, I can imagine that. Yeah, I remember, what was it? There are lots of different series, like for example, I guess Star Wars would be a good example, right? So I think there are different opinions on how you should watch the Star Wars series. I personally like following the original sequence, 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, then 7, 8, 9. But some people would prefer it 1, 2, 3 chronological, 1 to 9, starting from 1. I kind of like this back and forth in time, because that's how the storytelling was made in the first place. So for me, that makes the most sense. But yeah, I'm sure there are arguments to both sides. Let's go and check out the different views here. There are some nice views here. I think it's the showcase view, fixed camera, this one. Have a proper wing view. Feel like a CEO. Only the shadows are pretty flickery. I think I'll have to modify the shadow settings. That one at least looks good. Yeah, you can see the icing there. I would expect with anti-ice, that's the first thing that goes out. Some icing might remain on some parts, but definitely the leading edge of the wing, the front part of the wing here, I would expect that would be the focus of the anti-ice. Going to the loo. Very fancy. Order they were released. Oh yeah, with the Marvel movies as well. Yeah, that's one more good example. I like sticking to the way the storytellers have had it in mind. How cold is it up here? Negative 39 degrees Celsius. My goodness. I just watched a video on this. Somewhere in Russia, I think. Forgot the name of the place, starts with a Y. But I think the entire year round, it's like negative 30, negative 40 degrees on the ground. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't even imagine how cold that is. Like the zero, I am totally shivering already. Negative 40. Is that like the moment you spill water outside, it gets frozen, I imagine? Goodness, that's scary. How are we in terms of VOR? We are past Donnelly already. Next up is Pocatello VOR. Should be 1260. 112.6. Still too far away, I think. Can't quite capture it yet. That should come up soon. But that should be the end of the airway. Although, oh, look at this. This is actually perfect. Wow, look at this, guys. Welcome to the 500 club. Oh, that's perfect. I have to take a photo of that before it disappears. So our true airspeed is 418 knots. But on the ground, we're traveling at 500 knots because we have 84, 85 knots of tailwind right on our back, straight as where we're heading. I think this is the most perfect tailwind I've ever seen. Oh my goodness, wow. 500 knots on the ground. How fast that is? Let's see. Let's ask Google. Hey Google. What is 500 knots in miles per hour? So that's apparently 575 miles per hour on the ground. My goodness. Fancy stuff. Still can't see anything below. But looks like the clouds are thinning out where we're going. Hopefully that continues on. Nice. Hey Gunny, thanks for helping with the request. The overlay, yeah, I just tried it. Glad it's working out. Yeah, it looks quite nice, huh? I like it. Simple but effective. Thanks. Care of Sim Toolkit Pro. The tail decal. That one? Oh yeah. So this is done by a community member, DT Fan. He's not very active these days. We're hoping he makes a comeback because we need some of the liveries updated. The folks are not able to make it work for some reason. On my end it's working, but like for Gunny I think, and for Downtown, some of the active members in the VA, when they try to load the liveries, the sim just doesn't load. Not sure why. She thinks chronological order, so Captain America first. Ah, I see, yeah. For me, it's definitely release order. Yeah, I think you lose a bit of the storytelling when you go at it chronologically. And some things won't make sense. Or they would, but either they spoil stuff or it's not as dramatic. Speaking of fantasy books, I'm still waiting, and I'm sure many people are, for that third book in the what is that? Name of the Wind series with how do you even pronounce his name? VOD. I think it's been what, more than 10 years. We're still waiting for that third book. I think that's my favorite series of all time. Even if it's only 2 books so far, 2 main books. Name of the Wind and I forgot the second one. I'm not sure if the author is planning on still making it. Oh, Gunny, I'm not sure if you saw. Oh, we're not there anymore. I have to speed up a little. We were traveling at 500 knots a while ago on the ground. Ground speed 500. So we have like a massive 80. We had a massive 84 knot tailwind a while ago. Look at how perfect that tailwind is. First time I got that. The winds are with us at least. Oh, there we go. Snowy mountains in front. Clouds thinning out. You're a witness. I took a photo as well. I'll share it in the VA later in Discord. Oh, that looks so good. Also, was it Bunky? I think it was Bunky who recommended it. I modified my bindings now. So I have this fixed view now. It's very useful. Before I was resorting to custom views for my pilot view. But now I managed to have it fixed, so I can always go back to this exact same spot. Very useful. The camera system in this sim is very confusing though, isn't it? It's like there's a VFR view, a instrument view, and a landing view. And then they're all part of the pilot view. So like if you reset your view, it doesn't really reset, but it's so hard to explain. It's hard to understand and even harder to explain. Yeah, it's tricky. But yeah, I finally got it. How far are we? We are 100, maybe 200 miles from top of descent. Looks like we managed to capture the VOR as well. Is capture the right term when you've been able to detect it? I'm not sure, but you get the point. Pocatello. Let's have a look at the map. Let's see. So here we are, traveling direct en route to Pocatello. Here. That's the city or town. Anyone familiar with this place? Looks like lots of mountains in the vicinity, as we see in front of us a while ago, as we saw. Lots of snow-capped mountains. So we are currently at Idaho. Somewhere in Idaho. Oh yeah, Salmon. Salmon is here. Right, there's an airport in Salmon. I remember that in ATS. Friedman Memorial. Looking for other familiar cities here in Idaho. Twin Falls, maybe? Twin Falls is right there. Cool. It's nice. Oh, that's beautiful. There we go. There we go. Clouds are thinning out finally. Get some nice views here. I love these kinds of photos. The texturing here. One thing I had trouble with though, taking a photo of this plane from the back doesn't look quite as majestic. I don't know why. The shape isn't the best when looking from the back like this. Looks a bit awkward for me. But we'll try it anyway. There you go. Drive you crazy only having 2 out of 3 books to read. Yeah. That's why these days I don't read something until it's finished. So I might be left hanging again. So I try to finish something. Have you read the Expanse books, KM? Or have you watched the series? I watched the series in Amazon Prime. It's sci-fi though, I'm not sure if that's her thing. And it's very good in the series, the TV series, that I'm interested in reading the books. I think there are 11, 12 books. And the final book of the series will be released soon. So I think when it does release, I might start reading it. It's the most realistic sci-fi series I've seen. Like, there is like actual physics involved and it makes realistic sense. Oh, Gunny, you're familiar with it, yeah. Are you up to date with season 4? Oh my goodness. The latest episodes have been such a... What's the equivalent of page turner in a TV series? Yeah. Oh, look at that view. Nothing else comes close with Flight Sim. It's good, Kim. Really good. It makes sense. Like, let me give you an example. Like, you know how all these sci-fi movies, shows are like the hyperspeed, like Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, like going that super speed and like everyone just holding on their desks or not even feeling a thing, and suddenly they're there like galaxies away. In Expanse, you actually get an explanation or an actual impact on that kind of fast travel. So they like have to like sit down and have to like juice themselves up. I don't know what they actually do there, but they portray the effects on the human body of traveling at that fast speed, like the gravitational pull of that, the impact of that to the body, and what they have to do to counteract that and make that work. So that level of like reality is something that really resonated with me, and it shows you how much they pay attention to the details and the actual science, physics stuff. Like the impact of a person living in space his entire life, and the impact of that when he goes to Earth, how hard it is for him because of the gravity. Like that level of realism is there. So for me, it's really the most realistic sci-fi show, sci-fi series I've ever seen. It's not just like magically like spaceship go anywhere, stuff like that. I like it. Oh yeah, they have a Gunny in it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The Martian lady, right? Yeah, Gunny, exactly. Although the actor, I guess, is from what accent is that? Is that Kiwi? From New Zealand, maybe. Sounds like a Kiwi accent. Thank you for following. Welcome to the channel, and feel free to join us in chat. Having a nice chat around sci-fi stuff. Future Stargate SG-1. Yeah, that would be a nice description. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a sci-fi series, or if you're looking for a series period. That might be a very nice one. It's still ongoing though, so might be left hanging after a while, but yeah, I'm really interested in reading the books. Maybe after I finish this current one. 11 books. Won't finish that anytime soon. How are we? 70 miles from Pocatello. Looking good there. We don't have many of the usual suspects here. Going a bit of a different topic, sorry. We don't have many of the usual viewers here in Truck Sim, but I have an announcement. I guess I'll announce it in Discord as well. The stream on Friday, unfortunately, will have to be cut short. We'll still be streaming, but instead of the usual 3 hours that we have, I think it will be like 1.5 hours plus. Because me and Mrs. Clumsy have some errands to run. We have an appointment. So unfortunately, I'll have to cut the stream short on Friday, 2 days from now, the trucking stream. Still, we'll try to have fun with it. We'll try to enjoy it as much as we can. We'll see how that works. How are things looking here? I'm having a look at the airport. So this is I can't stress it enough. I absolutely love Little Nav Map. Gives you all the info you need. Winds in the sim right here. You see the weather from the different airports here, depending on their color. You know if they're VFR, if they're IFR, how strong the winds are, which direction it's coming from. So even from just this view, you have an idea already. Like, oh, this bad weather here. Cloud levels are low. Stuff like that. You see red stuff there? That's even worse. And if you want details, you can mouse over it. And you'll see details on what the weather is like. You see the meter in there. 100 at 4 knots. Visibility 3 static miles. Overcast at what is that? 3,700 feet. So very low cloud layers. Very bad visibility as well. But it's nice to see from a glance like this one. You see immediately this North Logan Airport here has perfect weather. See, it's a VFR and it's like a white fill instead of green. That means no clouds. If you have like a green filled circle there, that means it's what? Overcast, I think. Yeah, but it's still green because I think the cloud layers are up top. Higher. The lower it goes, the worse it gets. Thanks for following. Welcome to the channel. Happy lurking. Or you can also chat with us if you are in the mood. Pocatello. Apparently there's an airport for it. Nice. Let's go back. Oh, beautiful. This is what I like. Yeah, this one. The super thin wispy clouds like that. It just looks so good. Looks so calming. Cloud surfing. We go outside a bit. There's actually a plane at the bottom, you see? Nice. I think it's a real plane. Because I have live weather on. Does anyone know what airline code that is? ASA? 699. How are we in terms of fuel? fuel, you can see that will actually have still 2,500 pounds by the time we get to our destination. So plenty of reserves available. So no problems there. I absolutely love this progress page here. This is exactly what you see also in like P1D's videos. If you watch Premier 1 driver, he flies a Premier 1 plane, Premier 1A, and I think it has the same avionics as this plane. Proline 21, is it? But it looks very similar, if not exactly the same. So the things he refers to, how he programs the FMS, it's almost 1:1. So I can relate very well to it. So if I want to fly, or if I'm not so much in the mood to fly, I would look for one of P1D's videos, I would watch it, and then after I watch it, for sure I would want to fly. It's so inspiring, like seeing how he uses the FMS, how he flies, how he interacts with ATC. It's very inspiring stuff. Usually before I record any flight sim video, I watch a real flight sim video, real flight video first to get inspired. And P1D I think is the best inspiration for this CJ4. Actually, I haven't seen, well, I haven't been looking, anyone who is flying a CJ4 and makes videos in YouTube. So it's okay, we still have a discontinuity. That's why... Yeah, that's interesting though. That shouldn't be... 1 second. No, it's right. The discontinuity is between Zuvon and FBR, Fort Bridger. So that one is somewhere there. We can't see it so much yet. That's fine. We'll change it later. Very close to top of descent. Nice. Fort Bridger is 108.6. Let me plug that in. Too far to detect. It's fine. Oh. Can we see anything from below now? Nope, not again. Looks like the clouds have come back up. That's fine. So what have you guys been up to recently? More flight sim, flying out, trying out a new game? Any new game that came out that you guys are interested in? Bought anything during the Steam sales over the holidays? I bought Red Dead 2 during the holidays. I've been playing it, but I haven't played it much since this week or last week. I've been more interested in flight sim again, which is, I guess, good. Especially good for the channel and good for my learning. But yeah, Red Dead 2 is such an amazing game. And even though I'm not really a huge fan of like cowboys, you know, that Wild Wild West era, I'm not very much excited about it because of how nice the game was made. I actually get interested in it. Just shows you how much they've put into that. Game of the Year for 3 years running, I think. That's something. Hey Barry! Doing good, man. How have you been? You guys still in lockdown? Still in Germany, right? I have some German colleagues who've been telling me stories. I think they are in lockdown until end of Jan. For you guys, it's still the same. Zoom in here a bit. Getting pretty close to top of descent now. that. Still tailwind all the way. Nice. Oh, very far away from 500 knots though. Still, that's quite fast. More than 600 nautical miles in less than 2 hours. My goodness. Good. I was looking at the on-air stats a while ago. Nice to see you've been flying a lot, Barry. Which plane are you flying? Is it the TBM? Hope you're enjoying the VA as well. Looking good here. So looks like the clouds are coming up as well. Hopefully that doesn't mean more icing. Get a lot of frame drops when you look straight into the clouds like this. Very heavy on the frames. But when you go up like that, FPS goes a lot better. At least we can see something below now. Just a bit. Slow down a bit. Top of descent coming up. Around 50 miles. Let's get ready for it. Pull back on the throttle just a bit. We're getting very close to that red tape. Don't overspeed, please. That has a huge penalty in on-air. So let's have a look. Navigraph. Let's go back here. Fort Bridger, RNAV 22 approach. In terms of altitudes, 8,700 is the altitude when we reach the final approach fix. That's where we would capture the glide path. The runway is 7,000 touchdown zone. Is that what? 7,000 feet? So for all intents and purposes, we can actually just put in 7,000 feet here. 7,200. Just a little bit above the runway. And let VNAV take us the rest of the way. Let it concern itself with the vertical restrictions and stuff like that. That's the beauty of having these systems in place. So if we look at the legs here, can we see the discontinuity yet? Not yet. If you look at the legs page, we have 12,000 above 12,000 on Singe, and then 8,700 on Lesre. Yeah, that's the final approach fix. There we are. Looking good. Still in lockdown for now. Possibly the lockdown will last longer. Yeah, I think so. Based on the numbers, huh? Hang tight, guys. Keep safe. Oh, wait a minute. On-air tracks the landing rate? Where? How do you see that? Where do you find that in? Is that recent? I haven't tried that before. There's also been discussion of increasing the pilot's pay in our VA. Currently it's 30% of the income and none of the expenses. I think we've gotten some requests to increase that. So what we'll do is we'll look at the industry standards and we'll adjust as necessary. We'll keep you guys posted. That landing rate might be helpful though. Might help me learn more about how to land this darn plane. This CJ4 is such a floater. Yeah. It's a very bouncy, very floaty plane. Hey, is that? Oh, that's it. Nice. I have to explore that better. Where do you see that? Live sim data maybe? Yes, here the lat and long. One sec, we are very close to top of descent. Let's go to idle here. Make sure we're not going to... Oh crap. One sec. I didn't engage VNAV. There you go. I was looking for the snowflake. It didn't appear. So I changed my selected altitude, but it didn't hit VNAV. That's the problem. That's why the snowflake wouldn't appear. Thankfully, we're still close enough that it can catch up on its own without manual intervention. Logbook. Ah. Nice. Okay. I'll have a look at that later. I don't think I have plenty of those. Yeah. I don't think I've ever finished a flight here. Hopefully this is the first one. We'll see. Good. I'm literally at idle throttle in here. There's the discontinuity we can see. We can just remove that. Assuming we got clearance. Actually, I want to see how it changes. I don't think it should change the vertical profile. Let's see. So we connect that, zoom to Fort Bridger, execute. Yeah, it's still the same. It's fine. So yeah, that's good. It's one of the features. It can calculate the vertical profile even with discontinuities. And still, tailwinds are perfectly in our favor. They're tapering down as we are starting our descent already. So the winds are lessening, but still going exactly the way we want it to. Perfect. Fort Bridger VOR is 108.6. Let me double check. Yeah, that's correct. Nice. I look forward to flying in VATSIM again soon. Test out the radios on this plane. So it has been improved, supposedly. COM 1 and COM 2 should be working both now. Let's give it a bit of thrust. Can go faster than that. Hey Jay, how are you, man? Glad you could join. Vertical disconnect. That sounds bad. What have you been busy with these days? Which game are you finishing? Any icing outside? No, we're still good. Looks like the clouds are thinning out, thankfully. The airport is pretty straightforward. Runway 22. There's actually a grass runway as well. Also, this runway that we're landing in is very narrow. It's very hard for the peripheral vision for me. So it would feel like we are landing much faster than we are because the road is narrow, the runway is narrow. So it will be harder. But anyway, we'll manage it somehow. Then we'll need to back taxi all the way back to the ramp here. But we can make that work. We should make that work. Oh, dang it! Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. See, the moment you touch that red spot, even if it's not there yet, it's overspeed already. Absolutely hate that. OnAir is too sensitive when it comes to that. Nice, rats. Bad weather, no electricity till now, goodness. Stay safe. Weather has been pretty bad here as well recently. Raining the entire day, literally. And it's been pretty cold. The temperature is very welcome. The cold weather is very welcome for a change. But the non-stop raining is very hard for my laundry. They wouldn't dry off. Oh, nice. Perfect timing. Electricity is back. Some jobs are now fragile. Cargo and landing rate will affect their pay. Oh yeah, I've seen that in the update. I haven't encountered one yet though. I think in the future they're also planning on that all the passengers are tagged as fragile. Which makes a lot of sense. We are fragile creatures. Right, let's compute for the approach here. Compute our V speeds for landing. Let's have a look. So looking at Little Nav map, Fort Bridger is VFR, no clouds, perfect. There's the Fort Bridger VOR, 40 miles away. Nice. Winds are at 228 at 5 knots. -3 though. Altimeter 3025. 6,686 feet. Woo, getting close to overspeeding again. Slow down, slow down. Just go to idle, keep it safe. V speeds 111, 118. Let's do it. Nice. Got some snow in the last couple of days. I can imagine. Holidays in some states too. Ah, I see. Harvest Festival. Happy holiday. My colleague in India, he is on leave tomorrow. So is that depending on the region? It's a holiday for him tomorrow, but not today yet, I think. Alright, so what we want to do here is model this out. If you look at the... Make sure I'm not overspeeding. If you look at the approach, so this is what we're doing. We're going to be flying direct to Fort Bridger. So that's why after Zuvon, it's direct Fort Bridger VOR. And then we'll be turning left to Singi, direct to Singi, here. And then we should be doing that entry into the holding pattern. So we should do a procedure turn here. But if you look at the FMS, by default, Singi is just straight, and then I guess it will just do a random left turn or random turn into the right direction. So it wouldn't do the proper procedure turn. So what we need to do is plug that in here. Right now, it's not yet automatic, but it is working if you plug it in manually. So what we'll do is we'll go to the index, hold, and then we'll pick Singe, plug that in here. You see, it creates already a holding pattern there, but we'll have to make sure that the direction is correct. So it should be, the inbound course is 224 degrees, so we plug that in, and these are right turns. So 224 and then right turn, 224/R, put that there. You see that change? That's looking more exact to what is in the chart. And then the leg distance should be... yeah, this is tricky. It should be 7 nautical miles. But I heard that this is quite different from like what the 7 nautical mile does. I asked the working title group for this. I asked in their Discord. Apparently this just sets the leg time. So it's not really 7 nautical miles because depending on your speed, you might go faster or slower and you might go beyond that 7 miles. But for our purposes, that should be okay. And it's going to be a teardrop entry. So I'm expecting after we cross Singe, we will be turning left 30 degrees. We'll see if that follows it. Okay, we'll see. So execute. Awesome. So now we have a holding pattern in there. Perfect. Have a good night, KM. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate the company. Thanks for the chat and enjoy your book. Push your hard drive closer to the wall. Everything got huge on your screen. Not sure how to understand that. Might need be a bit more descriptive. Look at that, beautiful. Thankfully we have very nice weather here. Minimal clouds. There's nothing in our way now. Alright, 18,000 feet, go back to local altimeter, 3025 in this case. Nice. You should be flying over the airport. You should see it on our left. You guys see something? Oh, it's that one? Yeah, that's the airport. Right below us, guys. Cool. See? There's it. There. That one. Yeah, pretty narrow runway. My goodness. Hammer. Slow down, slow down. I think I'll need some speed brakes in here. Since we have a VOR for reference, we can check if it's going to use the 7 miles or something else. I think it will be something else, to be honest. Yeah, you can see there's a new waypoint there now, Singe, and then we have hold at Singe. Slow down here to 200 knots maybe. So we can deploy our flaps anytime. Hammer. He got his new PC. Might not want a hammer for that. Alt V. So we have to maintain 12,000 at Singe. Actually, I think it should be 10,000. Oh, okay, that's fine. Haven't gone back to explain since MSFS came out. Same with me. I almost did, but I would always hesitate. I don't want to invest all that time again to setting up the plugins for Explain. And with these kinds of mods, the CJ4 having this kind of level of detail, I'm pretty happy with Flight Sim. It's not perfect yet, but improving day by day. Hey, Gamaste! How are you, man? Glad you could join today. Only one day you get holiday if you're working. Ah, I see, I see. Nice festivities. Yeah, I like the festivities in the holidays in India. You really get time to celebrate. In Singapore, it's mostly one day. The only holiday that's 2 days is Chinese New Year. There we are. 12,000. Okay, let's try and compute this. So 13 miles away, 13 in DME. So by around 20, should be turning. And look at this. It's doing the 30 degrees, guys. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. So it went 30 degrees left of the outbound course. So you can see the outbound course is this one. It's around what? 030, 032 something. And then it went 30 degrees, or was it 45? Yeah, this way. That is so nice. And we're also starting our descent. Amazing. That is the teardrop entry that I am expecting. You like the header? Good to know. Does it help a bit with the information? Thanks to Sim Toolkit Pro for it. Thanks to you guys for the suggestions. There we go. I wonder if the plane will follow the magenta holding pattern. So it should be turning by now. Yeah, it does. Nice. Cool. Well, that looks perfect. We'll have a look at the breadcrumbs later in Little Nav Map, how that entire procedure turn looked. That looks amazing so far. Easy to read. Thanks. A while ago it wasn't. A while ago it was too small. But I've adjusted it since. Thanks to your inputs. It's like the out-of-the-box MSFS. Yeah, out-of-the-box MSFS is not the best, but that's usually how things go these days. The initial release is not very clean, and lots of complaints, and it takes some time. But now it's getting polished. Um, 224. Yeah, 224 is the final approach course. Nice. So if I don't do anything here, the plane will now follow this holding pattern that we've set. But that will take some time. That will actually never end until we... because that's a holding pattern. That's exactly what it's for. So instead, we should now say exit hold. You see that the exit is armed. That means the next time we pass through Singi, that holding fix, then it will stop the holding pattern and it will proceed with the next waypoint, which is what we want. Okay, let's slow down a bit here. There's the airport in front of us. See it blinking. Looking good there. I also have to remember to turn on the landing lights. Seatbelt signs maybe start now.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time.
Fasten seatbelts, guys. Love that procedure turn. Okay, I think it should be safe to turn on the landing lights, hopefully. Taxi lights as well. Looking good. Alright. Singy, 0.3 miles, that should disappear. We should go direct to Lesre. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Now that's a procedure turn. Awesome. Interestingly, this place is pretty flat. Given that this airport is 7,000 feet above ground, above mean sea level, I was expecting it a bit more hilly. Yeah, doesn't look bad at all. Slow it down here. I need to be at 200 knots so I can extend the first notch of flaps. Let's get some help from the speed brakes here. There we go, 200 knots. First notch of flaps going down. Flaps 15. Approach. Glide path. Nice. Now that we've captured the glide path, I can... One sec. Missed approach altitude is 12,000 feet, altitude. So I can move that back. 12,000 feet. Nice. And now they fixed the bug. I'm still continuing on the glide path. Perfect. So I didn't stop my descent. Nice. Landing gear going down. Slow it down to 160 knots. And then we'll deploy full flaps. Full flaps. Those are V speeds. So that's the target, going to the approach speed there, around 118 knots. Working with the throttle.
Autopilot.
You can fly from here. Looks pretty straightforward. Need a bit more thrust in here. Bit too low. The flight director should also be able to guide me here. So I'm looking both outside my window and in the PFD for additional guidance. I didn't set the minimums, I forgot. That's okay, weather is pretty good. Okay. Going to float a little, that's fine. There you go with the CJ4 default floating. There you go. You have to set it down really because it floats otherwise. There we go. Just let it settle. Is there a U-turn slot at the end? I think so. Set it down. There we go. I see it. Thank you, thank you. Not too shabby, I'll take it. Let's have a look at the landing rate later. Probably not the best. Floated a little as well, but with the CJ4, I call that a success. This plane is very hard to land. wants to keep on the air. Can turn off the heaters. Flaps up. Keep the lights on until we exit the runway. Nice. We can turn off the flight director now. Clean the plane up.
The number you have dialed cannot be reached, and that's okay.
Wow, it's a long runway. 6,000 foot runway. That's okay, we'll get there soon. It's not too narrow. I was expecting a narrower runway, but yeah, this one is just fine. I think maybe airliners can even land here, the smaller ones. Maybe not. 2% fuel, goodness. Yeah, I try to put as much allowance in the fuel as much as I can to be on the safe side. Where are we? There it is. I think the ramp is here. Okay, let's go through here. Fort Bridger traffic, 251 Charlie Lima. Clear off the runway. Now where do we park? I think I see the marshaller right there. But I think he's on the other side. No, actually it's not a marshaller, it's just someone. Okay, fine. Don't think we have a marshaller here.
Autopilot.
Why did the autopilot turn on?
Autopilot.
Weird. That was weird. I can do that. Oh, and the lights. My bad. Lights could have gone out a while ago. Landing lights and strobes. And now we can turn off all the other stuff. Nice. Turn off the avionics. Turn off the engine. Looks good. Turn off beacon, turn off batteries. And we are here. Let's have a look. How much did we earn? Yeah, I hate that. Look at this. Because of the overspeed, we lost 0.5% rep. We gained 0.51 because of the distance we traveled. All of those has been negated. We got left with 0.01%. My goodness. We don't have aircraft handling bonus either. Ah, fine. We did get XP though. So we got delay penalty of 3k, but we earned 111 on that job, I think. So that should work pretty well. We still have almost half a tank of fuel. Nice. Plenty of allowance in there, keeping it safe. Hey, hearsay. Yeah, I also have the same problem. It's a very floaty plane. I still haven't quite I haven't quite mastered it yet. But I enjoy it. So now with this money, 250, I think I can give that all to the company. 32k is what we earned. That's just our share. Nice. And let's give all of that 250k. 250. Accept that here. So that the other guys can also give more if they want. Lead by example and stuff like that. Intense penalty, you know, right? Oh, there we go. And I have personally no more money left. Everything is in the VA. Why not? Awesome stuff. Oh, let's have a look at that. How do you check the landing? Flight logs, maybe? Don't see it. Hey, Gaina. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Oh, there we go. 0.9 meters per second. What is that in FPM? Hey, Google. What is 0.9 meters per second in feet per minute? One second, let's compute that. Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. Maybe Sim Toolkit Pro has a better one. Alright, flight has been logged. Nice. 107 feet per minute. Oh, that's very nice actually. Although 2G, that might be a bit harsh. Let's see. If we look at this one. Oh yeah, that's the one. I'm not sure what is an acceptable G-force, but that seems a bit high. Well, at least it's 107. Okay, good, good. Awesome stuff. I'm happy with that. Alright. So I think we'll leave it there for now, guys. Stream ending a bit early. And for Friday, we will also end early. For those who missed the announcement earlier, we'll probably be cutting it in half because we have an appointment, me and Mrs. Clumsy, unfortunately, on Friday. But we'll still have the stream and we'll try and get the most out of it, okay? So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the company. Catch you guys in Discord in the meantime. And on Friday for more streaming, trucking that time. Have a good one. Clumsy flying, everybody, and catch you soon. See you. Random flying. Yeah, maybe next time. It will be too short. Bit awkward time. Thanks for following. Appreciate it. Catch you next time, and bye-bye. See you.